Hello everyone, it's around that time again. Another comments video out today. So I've got quite a list this time, well, more or less just because of how long the comments are, but I thought I'd answer a few more for this month. So let's get started, shall we? First one I have here is Madman Himes. If Google Plus ever goes away from YouTube, could you please keep doing these videos? It makes your comment responses feel all the more personal, and I like that. To tell the truth, I burst out laughing when you pronounced my name Madman Himes, answering my first question, and it really brightens up my day. You just don't get that kind of reaction from a few blocks of text. Also, just a funny observation, but apparently YouTube doesn't know its own name because spellcheck thinks I'm spelling it wrong. Yeah, that's actually Google, actually. Its spellcheck never knows that it's spelling its name right, even if you capitalize it. It's pretty sad. But yeah, actually, I do enjoy doing these videos because you guys seem to enjoy them as well. Any feedback I get that's very positive makes me entertained and inspired to do more stuff like this. That's the reason I love getting comments, is for the feedback itself. So, the next one here I have is Midnight Zero. I definitely agree. As little as a comment may be, it means a ton to hear you reading my comments with your amazing voice, and to just... I think I read that wrong for a minute. And to just know you actually do pay attention to us. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, back when YouTube didn't start doing all of this BS, I would reply to every comment I read because it was always nice seeing in my inbox if someone had a question or wanted to know something or even give a little negative feedback. But again, that's just their perspective of how they see it, so it doesn't bother me too much. Now, when you get into cyberbullying, that's when something gets a report button. Next one I've got here is... Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce this right, but let's give it a try here. Mike 4K6. Are you interested in playing Tombi 2, the Japanese version, or the European Tombi 2, or the North America Tomba 2? I would enjoy watching your LP of it, since I know nothing of the second game other than the ability to open more quests by loading in the save data from the original game. Also, are you interested in LPing any games in another language? For Tomba 2, I have never had any experience with it. Anything I know about it came from watching some YouTube videos on it, and I think the drastic change to 3D throws me off a lot, and it's hard to describe. Just looking at the game, I don't know if I would enjoy it as much as I did the original, because I loved the exploration in 2D more than anything. As for playing games in another language, I have played the Legend of Starfy series, which is exclusive to Japan. And as for anything other than that, I could play a game in Portuguese, but I would need subtitles. Just because I'm half Portuguese doesn't mean I know a lot. It's more or less to that point where if I'm listening to it long enough, I do understand it. But due to a debacle back when I was a kid, I know very little Japanese other than a few minor words and how to say kiss my ass. I'd probably use that one in certain situations, but it would be funny. Okay. So, the next question I have, or comment I should say I have here, is from Trevor Morris. Have you thought about maybe playing Klonoa? When I first read that, you hit me right here, buddy. I've known about the Klonoa game since I was still maybe just finishing middle school, and it tortured me so much that every time I went to Movie Gallery to rent it, it was not there. And where I live, getting games is very difficult. So I have a strategy guide for Klonoa 2, but I could never use it because I could never find the game. If I do ever find the game, I plan on buying it and playing it, and if I feel it deserves an LP from me, I will definitely give it a try. Okay, next question I got here is again from Mike or Mick, I don't know which one. Mike for Key 6. Okay, apparently my spell check decided it wanted to make one correct and the other not. In which languages do you watch Let's Plays? Well, so far it's mostly English, just because my Japanese is not fluent yet. I only know so much. And I've thought about watching some Let's Plays in Portuguese, but again, I'd have to listen to it long enough in order to pick it up. But if there, excuse me, if there is a game that I really need to know a walkthrough about, I'll usually watch a Let's Play in another language, but it's very rare that I see it, just because YouTube's main population comes from North America more than anything, and most people here will just speak English. But I've thought about it. Next one I've got here, I don't know if it's spelt right here on my notepad or anything, but it's at Gamer Nation, I think? Again, I apologize for these pronunciation fails. But it is on my finale of Sonic Heroes when my Dazzle, well, my computer decided it did not want to use my Dazzle, and I had no way of actually recording right off of my game screen at the time. I would have just waited to get the capture card working again. If you take a look at the date, I uploaded that video, and the date of when I did my next console Let's Play, it was a good 3 months before I could even get my capture card working again. It's just one of those spur-of-the-moment things. I'm honestly happy with the way the camera footage turned out. I didn't get any annoying flicker when I watched back through it, and the background noise wasn't too bad either. I may go back sometime in the future and fix the finale video, but from what I've seen, I like how it turned out, so I'm not going to change it. Next comment I've got is from BigRog1988. It's a reply to my Mimana ER Chronicle gesture I made back when I recorded that game in 2012. It's pretty much graphics, no way. Look at Crisis Core, Typo, Peace Walker, etc. It's pretty much that I said that Mimana had some pretty decent graphics at the time when the games I known had very pixely graphics and were very watered down and stuff like that. I had no idea that games like this existed except for Crisis Core because I had seen some gameplay footage of it. But the thing with me is my eyesight is very thorough when I look at games because it's pretty much the detail of the artist. And even in Crisis Core, when it's not pre-rendered cutscenes, you can see some major pixelation there, and some of it can be eye-catching. That's pretty much what I meant when I made that comment back in Mimana. But now that the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Vita are out, with some of the later games that I ended up getting for my PlayStation Portable, I did notice an improvement in the graphics. And honestly, I do think that there are a lot of better games out there now, but when you make a comment on an old playlist, you gotta make sure to read the date first. That's all I'm saying, is, because that way you can finally get an understanding of why I said it and when I said it. Just because when you kind of mention it maybe 3 or 4 years later, it kind of seems like you're nitpicking a little bit, but not too much. Honestly, I do understand your reasoning. There are some better games out for it now, but other than that, it was back when it was 2012. So yeah. Last comment I've got on my list here is from Zarokin Mega when I was playing Sabrina. How could you keep hurting your neck and tilt it the wrong way? I was pretty much at the time where I was getting very little sleep and I was jumping from my regular bed to another bed in the house because where my room is, it's on the top floor of the house on the side of a mountain during the middle of summer. It gets hot and muggy up here, so I'd always be moving around trying to find somewhere that was cool enough for me to actually get any sleep. So the way I slept was very odd. My neck kind of tilted the wrong way when I was sleeping one night. Not only that, if I was tilting it a certain way when I was recording, I could feel that crick in my neck, so that's how I kept hurting myself. But then again, I'm pretty accident prone, and I've got the bunch of scars to prove it. I've just always been a klutz. That's pretty much the gist of it. Alright, so that is pretty much the end of this comments video. I hope you guys enjoyed listening, and I've really got nothing else left to say. I apologize again if anything seems offensive from the tone I'm talking, but this is just the way I am. I can be fairly blunt sometimes and not even know it. So, until next time, everybody. Later!